Hello, my name is Ali, and welcome to my channel. We are back with Hakuoki Kyoto wins Todo's route. Let's go. Sanan laughed dryly and shook his head.
He is well educated and a skilled orator. Not only that, he's good with the sword. With such a gifted deputy commander, I suppose the Shinsengumi has little need for a colonel.
Hey, Sanan!
Sanan left the room as Hijikata's voice trailed behind, echoing in the hall.
Man, I feel bad for him. Even the men are avoiding him these days.
What? But why?
Well, can't blame him. No matter what you say to him, he takes it the wrong way. And no matter what you say, he acts like such a smug smartass, so the warriors are intimidated and want nothing to do with him.
Oh no. Poor Sanan. Even though I haven't been here as long as the captains, I knew Sanan was so well liked by the other warriors before his injury.
Hey, Hijikata, can't you come up with some bullshit excuse to kick Ito out? Ever since they arrived, it's been nothing but bad vibes and sour moods.
You know damn well that I cannot do that. I mean, look at the way Kondo fawns over Ito. Besides, he brought a large force of men behind with him when he joined. Do you think they won't make a stink if he were just to disappear? I've been reading these wrong, but oh well.
Oh, damn. Aren't you supposed to be the demon? The commander from hell? You're supposed to make the impossible happen.
Fine, Soji. How about we make you commander? Then you can kick Ito and his guys out, right?
Ha, hell no. That's way too much trouble.
The consensus was that Ito was not to be trusted, and it seems no one spoke in his defense. Only one during all of this quietly sipped his tea. Our boy Saito. Saito quietly looked up at me as I poured more tea into his cup. I have to say, so far his route was my favorite. I have to say, I like Saito. So, what do you think about Ito? I mean, about Ito joining, that is.
As an organization grows, it will expand to include people who have differing ideas and points of view.
Ah, so then...
However, if one attempts to force this sort of diversity, then the organization will begin to rot from within.
His words hung in the air, a dark omen from the future of the Shinsengumi. It was considerate of Ito to join, but his presence seemed to be a recipe for dissension, if not outright disaster. The setting sun glowed through the window with a warm, rich maroon, an ominous kind of beauty. It's cold. I came out into the yard, and my body stopped due to the cold. Guess spring will take a while. I wasn't too fond of Ito, but it was Sanan and his condition that truly worried me. I really wish his arm would just heal. That arm, or perhaps more accurately, the lack of it, was the source of his change in personality. Still, as nice as it would be for Sanan's arm to simply start working again, that seemed like the stuff of a child's fable, not real life. That was when I remembered.
If push comes to shove, he'll have to take it. I don't think Sanan's just going to give up.
Don't jinx him, Soji. It's gonna look bad if officers start joining the Furies.
Okita was talking about the Shinsengumi having some secret serum back in the day. Judging from how they spoke of it, it's an item with circumstances. And I was not to know about the existence of that serum. If I were to look into it without approval, there was no doubt that I'd be punished. But I'm the daughter of a doctor. I'm pretty sure I had more knowledge on medicine than the men of the Shinsengumi did. I will investigate. I'm going to muster the courage to look into this. But where should I investigate? My room is in the Yagi house. There are some rooms that I'm not allowed to enter, but the captains live here as well, and I'd finally learned how to navigate the building. However, there was another building that was part of the headquarters for the Shinsengumi, aside from the Yagi house. Some of the leaders, along with other warriors, live in the Meikawa house, diagonal from Yagi. And Sanan, who's injured, has been holed up in the Nambu residence, located behind Yagi. Since it's a residence, one cannot just stroll there casually, and since it is barely used by anyone other than Sanan, it is a little isolated. If there are secrets being kept from me, then they have to be kept in a place I'd never think to check. If I were to look into it, it would either be in the indie or the forbidden areas. I think something's missing of the Yagi residence. Which one should I look at? Let's see. We are going to do the Yagi house. Ooh, first time doing the Yagi house. Interesting. It was night at the Yagi house and dead silent. I tiptoed down the halls as quietly as possible. Huh? Were my ears playing tricks on me, or did someone just walk into the common room? I would be in trouble if someone saw me, so I did my best to blend into the shadows and hide. After a few moments of heart-pounding seclusion, my curiosity got the best of me. I departed my hiding place and crept toward the common room. I peered inside. It was Sanan. I wonder why. Something felt wrong. I just stood there. What is Sanan doing here late at night? I was at a loss. Should I speak to him? Or, before I could make up my mind, he turned.
I never thought that it would be you who would catch me. How unexpected.
Sanan gazed directly at me and muttered.
You're there, aren't you, Yukimura? Come out.
I guess he spotted me. I gave up and made myself visible to Sanan. I'm sorry if it seemed like I was snooping or watching what you were doing.
Well, I don't plan on scolding you. I mean, if you see a suspicious shadow in the middle of the night, of course you'd be curious.
It was very subtle, but I noticed something was off in Sanan's attitude. He had a peaceful smile, something I hadn't seen for what felt like ages. It was a bit too peaceful, as if his worries had suddenly left him. It was an expression I have never seen since he'd gotten injured. Sanan? Did something good happen?
Why, yes, something did. Or rather, I guess I finally made up my mind.
Something swished in his hand. Sanan? What is that?
You're wondering what this is, I imagine?
Well, she just asked. After his cryptic reply, he showed me what was in his hand. Sanan was holding a small bottle made from fine hydro, I guess that's how it's spelled. The glass was filled with a crimson liquid that looked like a poisonous chemical to me.
This is the secret treatment developed by your father, Kyoto, under orders from the shogunate.
What? The shogunate ordered my father to do something?
They say it first appeared out west. The contents of this tiny vial can utterly transform a person.
What do you mean by utterly transform?
To put it simply, it makes them stronger and heightens their recuperative abilities.
It sounded like something out of a fairy tale. If such a thing were to truly exist, the serum would be considered a miracle cure, but...
There is, however, a rather serious flaw.
His smile twisted, only a little.
I suppose you can say it was too strong. It worked as advertised, but drove its patients mad. You've seen the results yourself, haven't you?
Of course. I'd seen the results of that madness the night I first met the Shinsengumi. Creepy. Okita and Saito had killed off that monster with the white hair.
Your assumptions are correct. Yes, those warriors you met are of that ilk. They were no longer capable of what might call rational thought, and were little more than bloodthirsty monsters.
His words brought a sharp chill down my spine. How horrible.
If they lose control whenever they see blood, then they're hardly much use in battle, aren't they? As unkillable as they may be. Kyoto conducted experiments on the corpse during the development of his treatment.
No! My father? Conducting experiments on human beings? That made them go mad at the sight of blood? I couldn't believe it. No, I didn't want to believe it. But there was no reason for Sanan to lie either. I saw it before my very eyes. Then, did father really? Sanan shrugged off my disbelief and continued.
Unfortunately, when he disappeared, his research was put on hold. This vial here represents the fruits of my own personal research, based on what he left behind.
He smirked and shook the bottle gently. The liquid inside sloshed from side to side, almost lazily.
I've diluted it as much as possible.
I have so many questions to ask him, but I didn't even know where to start, so I simply spoke the first thing that came to mind. If you drink that, will you be okay? So, that serum, will it prevent you from going mad?
To be quite honest, I'm not entirely sure. I've never tested it on anyone.
His smile faded.
If I take this, my arm will heal. Assuming, of course, I've mixed it correctly.
You mean you're actually considering taking it? He had no guarantee that it would simply kill him outright, and even if he did survive, it might well drive him insane. Sanan, please reconsider this. I'm sure there's some other way. You don't need to rely on the...
I have no choice. This is the only way to heal this damn arm. I'm already useless here. Even the men have begun to speak ill of me behind my back. You will never understand me. I came all the way to Edo, alongside my comrades, whom I thought were behind me. And now I'm left here, given a position out of pity, and left to wallow in my own uselessness.
How could you say it's pity? You're a leader here. The Shinsengumi respects and needs you now, more than ever. Sanan's eyes dotted with melancholy, flashing a brief smile that entertained the idea behind his words.
Ah, yes, I remember it well. I am a swordsman of the Shinsengumi, yes? And I am not useless, right?
Sanan seemed bitterly focused on the words Hijikata said earlier. They really did affect him.
There is no life for me as a swordsman. You're asking me to continue in some sort of undeath? Let me die as a person as well.
No!
It's not decided that it'll fail. The odds against success aren't as terrible as you think.
Sanan smiled as he said that, but there was no way to know what might happen to him. Considering the worst that could happen, I couldn't sit by and allow him to do this. We're going to scream. Sanan came to hate himself for being unable to fight alongside his comrades and friends. Even if they forgave him, he never forgave himself. But
I doubt you can understand.
Was it the sort of thing only a fellow swordsman could comprehend then? How could I convince him to listen to me? If I couldn't, then perhaps there was someone else who could. I screamed as loud as my lungs allowed, my voice echoing down the halls and across the courtyards of the compound. Help! Please! Anyone! Oh, okay, that pops up. But even as I cried out, I'm gonna let you go here. I hope you are enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!